Someone says something small, maybe at work, maybe at home, maybe in front of other people, and for a split second, everything inside you tightens. Your chest feels hot. Your mind starts racing. You already know what you want to say. You want to explain. You want to correct them. You want to prove they're wrong. So you speak, fast, sometimes louder than you planned. And later, maybe that same night, you replay the moment in your head while lying in bed. You think about what you said, how you said it, how the room went quiet afterward. And a small thought creeps in. What if I had just stayed quiet? What if I didn't react at all? Most people believe silence means losing. Like if you don't defend yourself, people will think you're weak. But sometimes, silence isn't weakness. Sometimes it's control. And this is the story of a man who learned that after almost losing everything that mattered to him. Once upon a time, there was a man named Arvind who lived in a busy neighborhood in Jaipur, a city full of noise, traffic, and conversations that never seemed to end. Arvind was 34 years old and worked as an assistant manager at a small logistics company near the railway station. He lived in a modest two-bedroom apartment with his aging mother. From the outside, his life looked stable. But inside, Arvind had one problem that followed him everywhere. He could never stay silent. Arvind wasn't an angry person, at least that's what he believed. But he reacted quickly to everything. If someone criticized him at work, he defended himself immediately. If a relative made a comment about his life choices, he responded sharply. If a stranger in traffic honked at him, he rolled down the window and shouted back. People described him as straightforward. But over time, something else started happening. People stopped talking openly around him. His coworkers kept conversations short. Neighbors avoided long discussions. Even his cousins began teasing him carefully, like they were walking around a sleeping dog. Arvind noticed it, but he told himself something simple. If I stay quiet, people will walk all over me. So he kept speaking, every time. One afternoon at work, Arvind sat at his desk reviewing shipment documents when his colleague Samir approached. There's an issue with yesterday's dispatch report, Samir said. Arvind didn't even look up. I already checked it. Samir hesitated. The numbers don't match the warehouse log. That was enough. Arvind spun his chair around. You're saying I made a mistake? Samir replied calmly. I didn't say that, but you're implying it. Within minutes, the conversation escalated. Voices rose. Other employees looked up from their desks. Finally, their supervisor stepped in and checked the file. The error wasn't Arvind's. It came from the warehouse entry, but the room stayed awkwardly quiet. Samir didn't apologize. Arvind didn't feel victorious either. On the ride home that evening, something strange bothered him. Why did the room feel uncomfortable, even though I was right? The tension followed him outside of work, too. One evening during dinner, his cousin joked about Arvind still being unmarried. Maybe he scares people away, the cousin laughed. Everyone chuckled lightly. Arvind fired back instantly. At least I'm not pretending to be happy in a bad marriage. The table went silent. His aunt stared at him. His cousin looked hurt. The rest of the evening dragged. On the way home, his mother said quietly from the passenger seat, You speak before you think. Arvind gripped the steering wheel. They started it. His mother didn't respond, but the silence between them felt heavier than any argument. Months passed. The pattern repeated. Arguments at work, sharp words at family gatherings, unnecessary tension in simple conversations. Arvind didn't see himself as the problem. He saw himself as someone who refused to be disrespected, until one evening changed everything. It was a rainy Tuesday. Arvind was driving home through crowded streets when a motorbike suddenly cut in front of his car. He slammed the brakes. The bike rider turned around and shouted something. Without thinking, Arvind stepped out of the car. The streetlights reflected on wet pavement as the argument grew louder. People gathered. Someone filmed on their phone. The bike rider yelled back. Arvind yelled even louder. Then, something unexpected happened. A traffic police officer walked over and separated them. "What's going on here?" the officer asked. Both men spoke at once. The officer raised a hand. "Enough." He looked directly at Arvind. "You're not angry because of the bike. You're angry because you don't know how to stay quiet." The words landed harder than an insult. The officer waved them off. The crowd dispersed. Arvind returned to his car and sat there in silence while rain tapped softly on the windshield. For the first time, he didn't defend himself. He didn't justify. He just replayed the officer's words. "You don't know how to stay quiet." That night, Arvind barely slept. He kept remembering moments from the past year. The office argument, the dinner table silence, the uncomfortable looks from people. He realized something unsettling. Every conflict started the same way. A small comment, a quick reaction, then escalation. But what would happen if the reaction never came? The question lingered. The turning point came the next morning. At work, a junior employee accidentally misplaced an important invoice file. The young man looked nervous while explaining. Old Arvind would have raised his voice immediately, but this time he took a breath. He nodded. "You may be right," he said calmly. "Let's review it." The room relaxed. The discussion continued without conflict. After the meeting, Samir walked over and smiled. "You've changed," he said. Arvind shrugged. But inside, he understood something important. Silence gave him control over himself, and control over himself changed everything else. Years later, Arvind still speaks when necessary. He hasn't become quiet out of fear. He simply chooses his words carefully. He no longer reacts to every comment or situation, because he learned something that took him decades to understand. Silence isn't about saying nothing. It's about deciding when something deserves your voice, and most things don't. Now think about your own life for a moment. How many situations escalated because you reacted instantly, and how many of them might have ended differently if you had simply waited? If this story made you pause and reflect, that's a good sign. And if you enjoy thoughtful stories like this, feel free to tap the like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Sometimes, the most powerful response in life is silence.